Well, first off, let me say this about Alabama State. Tony being a Memphis guy himself, played and coached here, and is doing a terrific job. And we knew going in this game, this was kind of one of those trap games. You come out of Missouri, where you played so well, everybody patting you on the back a little bit, and everybody talking about the Bahamas and all that. Well, unfortunately, there's a pretty good team laying there before we can do all that. And that's Alabama State. And I think that, Alabama State was the aggressor for most of the night. And I point to one stat. It's a bad stat. And a lot of them came off of dribble penetration, someone trying to help them shooting it, and us not getting a rebound. But they had 25 offensive rebounds. That's just a bad stat. But it's told the team, there's a lesson to learn from it. First off, I've been on this side of it enough. Now, there's no such thing as an ugly W. They don't exist. I've been on the side of them that you can lose those kind of games real easy. So I'll give our guys some credit. They found ways to hang in there, not being at their best. We didn't know David Jones was even going to play until game time. And thank goodness he did. He was the one guy that could really go up and rebound in traffic. I think he had 10 backboards. But a lot of things to learn from. But sometimes emotionally, as we told them, this is their Super Bowl. You got to find that edge. As a coach, you wish you could play at that same edge every night, but it doesn't exist. You just got to hope those nights you're not quite there, you find ways to win. Well, there's no more of these kind of games left. If I'm correct, there's no more bye games left. Is that right? I know what we're going to in the Bahamas, and you all know the schedule from there on. So we got to keep finding ways to get better. And again, didn't play our best, didn't do some things the best, and still find a way to score 92 points. But I'll point to one thing, just that rebounding. It's not where we got to be on that. Questions?
All right, so it's obviously been the 3-game stretch is now over with Penny's suspension, and you've kind of
I am ready, Coach. Come on back, Coach. I just didn't want to mess it up. I tried my best not to mess it up for 3 games.
Yeah.
So we're ready for Coach to get back. Trust me.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to ask you, with all that going on, it's kind of a unique situation for you. What was that whole experience like for you and the staff having to work together in that way?
Well, listen, give the players all the credit, number one. Remember, players play the games. I always said players win them, coaches lose them. So give the players credit. It's been great to coach. We've had 0 problems. It's been great to coach. There's no problems with that. I'm just glad that whatever little bit I could help this team and help coach, that's what I was trying to do. And the assistant coaches, they did a great job. Those guys deserve a lot of credit. And again, we're just trying not to mess it up until we get Coach back. So we get him back now. Midnight tonight, I guess we get him back. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Great win tonight. But what do you think you guys can do to control the turnovers?
Listen, that's a little bit of a same thing, having that mental edge. Second half, Missouri, a pressing team, we had 4 turnovers. So it tells you where that mental part is. It's a fine line. This game's so mental. And again, if you're not mentally ready, you look across the country, there's teams beat someone every night, and you say, well, how did that happen? It happens. A lot of good teams. Winning and losing is a fine line. It's a fine line. Naturally, we want to take care of the basketball better. That just starts, again, having that mental edge to play.
Coach,
yes, sir.
Did you like that they let them play in the first half and it was a little physical? If so, what did you benefit from that, or do you get concerned like when you hear Mills go down with a thud in the second half?
Well, probably the thing we didn't benefit enough from, I think the second half, we got in a double bonus about the first 6 minutes of the second half. Was that correct? You might get that exact stat. We get into the double bonus in that second half real quick. They let them play. I mean, that's naturally you want every call to go for you. There's calls in every game you're not going to get that they miss, and they're going to miss some they should have got right or get some right they shouldn't have. So it's part of the game. But overall, I really didn't have anything to do with us getting those offensive rebounds, officiating.
Coach, after kind
Yes,
of
sir.
right here,
Gotcha.
after kind of getting a ton of momentum into the first half, I think David Jones had 13 of y'all's last 16 points. Went on a heater there. What changed in the second half? What made things kind of go stagnant offensively?
There's different things in all point of games. We have lots of guys capable of scoring, a lot of guys looking to score. And sometimes there may be a person that has open shot that you just want to take, even though somebody's got a hot hand. So, it's figuring out these guys got to keep playing with each other. Got to figure out when a guy gets a hot hand, and we got to go to him. Keep going to him. Now, I know Mills, not Mills, but David Jones, again, he was a game time decision. Hadn't practiced with that tweaked ankle. I see he played almost 26 minutes tonight, 22 and 10. Is that right? 22 and 10?
David Jones, not Mills, right?
David Jones, 22 and 10. Is that who you're talking about? Who's you talking about? Mills?
You said Mills, right? But
I mean David Jones.
David Jones at 22 and 10. Yeah.
Who'd you say?
I said David Jones.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're saying why did he get more shot? He had 13?
He had 13 in like
Yeah.
8 minutes, final 8 minutes of first half.
Okay. Y'all have heard me say this. We have guys capable of doing that. You've seen Walton do it a couple different times. Walton had a game, had 17. JQ's has potential to do that. That's what I say. When you have some guys, and I'll use this word again, spurtability. Did y'all check if that's a real word? Okay. When you have a team that can do that and individual players can do that, you can't teach that now. And that's a good thing because it don't take but a 2-minute span somewhere, someone to go off and hit 2 or 3 threes in a row to separate a ball game. Hard to teach guys to be able to do that right there. And like I said, we got multiple guys that can do it.
Hey, Coach, I know one of
Yes.
the reasons you said they stayed close tonight was the offensive rebounding. Is that something that could be a concern, or it was something they played down to their opponent, or something that no big deal?
Well, remember, we just went on the road and out rebounded Missouri by 12 or 13, I think, didn't we? Was that the right stat? I rebounded 12 or 13. It just goes hand in hand. And to me, it started, you're talking about your readiness to play, the ability to keep that ball in front of you. A dribble penetration created so many rebounds, bigs coming over to help, no one blocking out the big and getting those offensive putbacks. Then they beat us in transition some. I looked up, I know the first half, I saw 5-on-2, 5 black shirts, offensive rebounding in transition. I saw 2 of our guys. Again, that comes from, just understanding the importance of every possession.
Last 2, Isaac and then Leo.
Isaac, all right.
Coach, you got a lot of players on this roster that weren't here last year. So, they through these first couple games, they've already looked like they're a team playing well together. So, talk to us a little bit about how you've gotten this team to come together just in such quick of a time.
Well, give Coach all the credit. I mean, Coach has done a terrific job with them, and again, like I said, I'm just trying not to mess it up too bad. So we'll get Coach back now, and that's a good thing. So I think Coach would tell you this if he's sitting here too. We have a lot of potential, but we got a long way to go too. A lot of things we have to get better at. And there's probably some things we didn't do tonight that probably we didn't want to do because of next opponents we're playing. We would have liked to have changed defenses some, done some different things. But because, maybe don't want the next opponent to see some different things, it could have helped us tonight. When you don't have that at quite that edge, you can change defenses a little bit and help control that a little bit. But we didn't. So hopefully there's some things defensively moving forward that we could do that we haven't done much of, that we've worked on some. Hopefully that helps us down the road somewhere along the way. Last one, where we at?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Coach, you guys had a lineup change tonight. Why the lineup change, and do you think you guys will stick with this, or you probably still experimenting?
Well, you've heard me say this. I mean, again, not as concerned who starts the game as who finishes it most of the time. You know, most important people on the team are 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Those are guys who have to accept the role coming off that bench. And some of those guys are good enough to be starters. So those guys play a huge role, whoever those guys are. We'll see. We got a couple days practice before we head to Bahamas. So we'll see what Coach wants to do and decision he makes moving forward. But there's some good things. Some things wasn't as good as you want it to be. But I don't know if the lineup had anything to do with us not offensive rebounding and not doing some things. That's just that little mental edge that you have to have, guys. And it's a fine line, fine line.